Wow, I just flew from Bombay to San Francisco and had the most incredible day of my life as a creator. I was among the 5 creators in the world and the only Indian who was invited by Apple behind the scenes to have a look at the labs where iPhone's latest audio and video features are developed. Now, we all know how famous iPhones are in India for their exceptional video and photo capabilities. So, let me take you inside the Apple labs to see exactly how they develop it. And I got to interact with Apple's top executives, so watch this video till the end. There were 2 parts to it. The first one being audio engineering. Today, you can use the latest iPhones to record spatial audio. It's the most immersive form of audio that you can hear, in which it actually feels like you are in the scene and you can hear everything from around you. And Ruchir from the audio engineering team talked about how they've built the spatial audio feature in the latest iPhones. Let me make it very simple for you. First of all, we have professional quality microphones, the ones that you might have seen and bought already. Now, to record spatial audio, professional quality microphones have a tetrahedral structure in which they are able to record an audio sphere around them. Now, with this format, they're able to record a 3D sphere of the audio around it, and that is what creates that immersive feel whenever you hear spatial audio. This is the coolest part of my entire day. They took me inside the long wave chamber. This, as you can see on your screen, is an anechoic chamber that is built inside the Apple facility. And this is where they test out the audio capabilities of the iPhone. It was a massive room with nets in the bottom, and it was covered on the 6 sides with wedges, as you can see around. It's a chamber inside a chamber where there is no echo. So anytime you will speak there, the audio will get absorbed by the walls and the wedges, making sure that you hear crystal clear audio. Now, you will notice a semi-arc which was filled with speakers on it. And there was an iPhone at the center. They would play certain audio on all of these speakers, and this iPhone will capture that audio in each of its mics. And then it would rotate by 10 degrees and the same audio would be played. And by this, they're able to capture a sphere. It takes about 5 minutes for the whole rotation to happen, but then you get an audio sphere from each of the 4 mics on the iPhone. Now, ambisonics is something which is used to create that spatial audio effect, and using their various machine learning models, Apple turns these audio sphere patterns into the ambisonic patterns, which will help you have that whole immersive spatial audio feel. This was an insane experience. I went inside, they explained me exactly how things work. They fired up the speakers, they showed me the patterns of the audio that each mic captures and how it is transferred from that to spatial audio. The next space is where they conduct user demos and they ask people to rate which audio is better so that they're able to tweak it so that it works for most people who are using iPhones around the world. I was able to demo it. I basically had 2 options. I heard 2 audios and I was able to select which audio is better, which audio is worse, and I was able to go ahead. And that's basically how they're able to create spatial audio inside the iPhone 16s. Then we got an inside look at how the audio mix features were developed. If you did not know, audio mix is this incredible feature in which you can refine and clear out all the noise from the background to get crisp audio as if you were using some professional grade microphone. It has 3 basic modes: the in-frame mode, the studio mode, and the cinematic mode. Depending on what type of video you're capturing, you might want to select one or the other. And you can do it all right with a few clicks inside of the Apple Photos app. Now, they also showcase the wind noise reduction feature, with which they're able to reduce all the hiss and the wind noise from your video so that it actually sounds pretty crisp. This was all about the audio engineering experience. I then got to sit down with Francesca, who's the head of product marketing for iPhone at Apple, and sit down with Ruchir and talk a bit more about the audio engineering features of the iPhone. Have a look at this. Francesca, Ruchir, thank you so much for taking out the time. My first question after having all of the experiences that you showed us today was, how are you able to condense all of the new features every single year in that same form factor and size? Because from the iPhone 10 to today with the 16 Pro Max, there are so many new features in both audio and video which are adding on every single year, yet the form factor remains the same. How are you able to achieve that feat? That just blows my mind.
Yeah, a lot of engineering. There are some brilliant engineers at Apple across many, many different teams that put a whole lot of focus when it comes to developing these features, and at the same time not just keep growing the product. And we do grow the product where it's necessary, but for the most part, we want to keep the iPhone that easy to use, a device that people love. And so a lot of engineering is the short answer.
Yeah. I think the biggest change with the latest iOS update is the audio mix feature, which I've used a lot in all of my reels and my videos. And it works really well when I'm outside recording a quick video. I just have an idea to shoot a quick reel and I'm able to do that. How did you get the idea that you want to work on this, and how do you prioritize which features you want to work on? And how long have you been in works with the audio mix before it came out this year?
Maybe I'll start with our focus on delivering clean voice in an iPhone to users has been there for multiple years. We have shipped features like voice isolation and now audio mix that we're shipping this year, and also the new feature we launched on voice memo where we can do layered recording. So the focus of letting users capture a clean voice stream while maintaining the sense of the surround they're in has always been there. Also, we have been very focused on delivering spatial audio experience because it really provides that immersive experience as if like you are there in that environment. And so we really wanted to enable that capture capability on the iPhone. And the focus was really around being able to do that in all sorts of different environments. And so the idea of audio mixes came from that give that users the ease of use of being able to record in all sorts of different environments, but also give them the creative freedom to be able to change it how they like.
Mm-hmm. And I think that's the beauty of it, right? Is that these tools are really incredibly powerful and professional tools, right? They're the types of setups that a producer would use in the movies, and now you have that in your pocket. And so it really is allowing any person to take advantage of these incredible capabilities. It's so easy to say that we have spatial audio, but to allow someone like me who is not a content creator to be able to use it and take advantage of it in this really seamless way, I think is the power of what we do.
Yeah. The creator economy is so huge today. I come from an era where I started creating videos when the short form content became more popular. But there was an era with the Casey Neistat vlogs and the 2010s era of like YouTube videos, which is all gone now, and people are mostly consuming short form content. Do you as a company look at this trend and then decide like what to focus on? Like you launch the audio mix, then there's the slow-mo feature, then there's the 4K 120 FPS. So how do you think of that? Do you focus on that as a metric to decide what to focus on while building the new features?
Yeah, I think I would love to hear Rushir's thoughts. But, certainly when we think about how people are pushing the limits of what they can do, we want to constantly make sure that the tools that we're providing are unlocking so many of these capabilities. So like you said, 4K 120 is a really powerful tool, but it really is allowing users to have the half speed or the quarter speed that gives you even more creative freedom. And so I think the theme across so many of our photo, audio, and video features is really this creative flexibility. And so because people are taking advantage of these things in really creative ways, we want to enable these tools for anybody that's using them. And so, we're really proud that, of course we have the powerful hardware and software to be able to back it up, but it really is giving flexibility and creativity to our users.
Yeah, and when it comes to audio, absolutely we think about the content creation as one of the big use cases. And so as one example, when we opened up spatial audio as a capture mechanism on iPhone, we didn't just limit it to landscape videos. We know a lot of videos are shot portrait these days. And so in our development process, we are very mindful of being able to shoot spatial audio video both in landscape orientation as well as portrait.
Yep. One last question I have for both of you is, what is an iPhone trick or shortcut that you personally love to use that you wish more people knew about?
Oh, good question. An iPhone shortcut?
Or a trick or something that you just love to use?
Not a trick, but just, I know this sounds silly, but the fact that our displays can go down to one nit, all of us are scrolling social media at night and, looking. And so that's kind of been one of my favorite features, is just that now it can go even darker and really comfortable at night. I know that's a silly thing.
For me, it changes as the new features come out. My current favorite feature is the visual intelligence using the camera control button. So just being able to point at something and ask like what it is, or do an image search on it. It's fantastic. I love it.
Really cool. Thank you so much. That was all about audio engineering on the iPhones. Then we went on and had a look at the video engineering. The 4K 120 FPS is the latest addition to the video tools that you have access to on the latest iPhones. And with that, you can get some crisp, slow motion videos when you dial down that frame rate down to 24 FPS. And it looks amazing. Now, if you did not know, you can capture Dolby Vision quality videos and audio from your iPhone 16s itself. Apple then took me inside this massive cinema hall that they have inside their office. There was a massive screen and there was also multiple iPhones. The idea was every video that you capture on the latest iPhones can now be played on a massive screen, and it would have the same pitch blacks, it would have the same color vividness, it would have all of the features of Dolby Vision video that you might have seen on cinema whenever you're watching a movie. And that for me was insane to see. I then sat down with Sean, who is from the video engineering team, and Francesca to talk more about the video capabilities of the iPhone. Perfect. Francesca, Sean, thank you so much for taking all the time. My first question is about iPhone and India. I think in India, iPhone is the most famous phone, especially because of its video and picture taking capabilities. I want to talk about how are you able to tweak the color science in the iPhones so that it captures the diverse set of skin tones that are there in India and across the world. How are you able to do it so perfectly that it just looks perfect?
Yeah, that's a good question. We paid a very, very detailed attention to every stage of the video capture experience, from when the photons come into the camera lens all the way, when you play back the video file, the photons are being emitted by display. So this covers not only the focus, exposure, and the white balance, as well as all the display adaptation, color management when you play back that file. And on top of it, we also went out all to the field. Our engineers on a weekly basis capture thousands of videos and images of diverse scenes and people. And then we have a group of experts look at these on a weekly basis to make sure that we can capture all these people, the things as accurate as possible. So it does take a lot of work to make sure that we, capture all the skin tones perfectly.
Yeah. And I think that, also on top of that is that no matter where you're playing it back, right? So if you're playing it back on your phone, or if you're playing it back in a big movie theater like this, we want to make sure that that is completely accurate and representative of what you captured at that moment. And so we want your skin tone to be preserved throughout the process.
I just absolutely loved how it just went black. It said, this is not black, this is pitch black. And that was like a goosebumps moment. But tell me about this one dilemma which I've seen a lot, and that is iPhones from the start have been made to be minimal, to focus on the few things that work really well. But with every single new iPhone that is coming out, you're introducing new features, like we now have ProRes and shooting the videos in log. How are you able to balance minimalism while delivering new features and capability? How do you balance all of that?
Yeah, a lot of it has to do with a collaboration of different groups, including the UI designers. And so much of it is just being able to give you access to these kinds of tools. And so, if you're using the camera app or the Photos app, we have this really simple UI that allows you to access the things that you need. But you have incredibly powerful tools, that are another layer deeper. And so depending on what you want to turn on in the UI, if you want to turn on really high resolution, if you want to capture 48 megapixel, if you want to capture ProRes, these are all, additional capabilities that we have. And so we try to find that balance between making it really simple and easy for many of us that are not content creators, but also for those that want to do, say, a full-scale movie production, they have those tools as well.
Yeah. what do you use the camera control button for the most?
Oh, for me? Well, for me, it's just, not missing moments with my daughter. So I have a little toddler who's running around all the time, and being able to quickly pull it out, snap the picture is great. And for me, the one I use is selecting my lens because, sometimes I pull it up and wait, I need quickly a wide angle shot. And so I can just quickly swipe to change the lens and frame that shot really perfectly.
Yep. What about
Yeah,
you,
same
Ishan?
here. Just that not missing any moment. Actually, I was vacationing over the Thanksgiving in a beach resort. My hand is always wet. With the camera control, I don't miss any moment. Whereas previously, I have to look at the touch screen. Sometimes I may not be able to capture that moment.
Yeah.
As fast as you can.
One very interesting feature, which is now on the latest iPhone, is spatial video. And that is something which you can experience with the Vision Pro. But how does it really work? Like, what is the behind the scenes of creating a spatial video? Because I had the demo of the Vision Pro, and they played that video of a birthday cake, and they were like they were like kids in the background. I could really see that depth of field in the video itself. How are you able to create that, and how is it able to record it using an iPhone itself?
That's a great question. So when we, work on a Vision Pro, we think, how we can enable our customer to capture more content for this device. And then we look at the iPhone. Yeah, we have actually 3 cameras, and we can leverage 2 of them, right? And they actually naturally have disparity, mimicking what your eyes left and right. Therefore, our engineering team went out and undertake this task, and magically they will be able to, using both the wide and super wide angled camera, to allow you to capture this magical spatial video that you see today.
The interesting thing is, I'm currently holding an iPhone 13, and we are recording this in 4K 60 on the iPhone 16 Pro Max. But a lot of the pictures that I click, even on the iPhone 13, looks incredibly great. How do you ensure that every year you're working on incremental updates, but you're also creating such great phones that people don't even want to upgrade for the next one because it works really well? How do you think about that? How do you think of keeping up with the upgrades while also making sure that every device is great in and of itself?
Yeah, I think, we're hopefully that we're creating features that are really compelling and that are encouraging people to upgrade because they see how powerful they are and how capable they are. But of course, if you have a phone like, say, an iPhone 13, I think that's great to hand down to somebody else in your family. And so we are proud that we have incredible longevity of our devices. So whether you're going to trade it in and you're going to get incredibly high value when you trade in, or if you just want to hand it down to someone, you're going to get, they will still get a really great experience with an iPhone 13. So we certainly want to encourage that as well, that, you can either trade it in and get value or hand it down to somebody.
What is the craziest example of 4K 120 FPS that you've seen of people use it?
Oh, that's a good question.
Well, I've seen there are many, right? With 4K 120, it just gives you so much flexibility. And you don't have to make a decision at the capture time whether or not you want to standard or you want to slow-mo. And you can make that decision at the post-capture. And I've seen many people use this feature creative in a TikTok, and they play the video starting with a normal speed. Then when there is a fast action, boom, they slowed it down. So that gave the user this cinematic feeling, if you will. And it's very, very interesting to see how our customers can use this feature so creatively.
What's a message that you want to give to future creators who want to start making content on Instagram, on YouTube, and they have an iPhone with them? What would you say to them?
I would say you have everything you need. I would say the iPhone that you have in your pocket is incredible and is able to capture 4K 120 frames per second in Dolby Vision with incredible audio capability. And it's something that you could play back in the highest end theater that exists and it would look remarkable. And so you don't need to have all of this really expensive, fancy equipment to tell your story in a really powerful way.
Yeah. Amazing. Thank you so much, Francesca. Thank you so much, Sean.
Thank you.
And that was an exclusive look at how Apple works on the audio and the video features of the latest iPhones. This, for me, was the most craziest day ever because I got to see how things are developed from scratch, sit down with the Apple executives and talk about their vision for what the iPhone is and could be. I got my first iPhone in 2021, and I went from that to actually being invited by Apple to visit the Apple office and see the behind the scenes of how the iPhone is made. The most surreal moment of my life as a creator. This will always be a core memory of my journey so far. Thank you so much for watching this video till the very end. Let me know in the comment section, what do you think about all the things that I've just shown you? I think for me, the anechoic chamber was by far the craziest thing I've ever seen. That was all from me today. I am in San Francisco right now, but I'm gonna go to New York in about 4 hours and grab my flight and meet friends for Christmas. That's all from me. I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye. One more thing, this video is in fact shot only on iPhone. I hope that you liked it. I'll see you in the next video.